Hi, this is Maggie Hoffman at Camp Rutledge. There is a reason I'm dressed like this. Camp Rutledge is a church camp that I've been attending for several years now, and what happens to be going on right now is Country Western Night. Now, there was another video that I did a couple nights ago, and you'll see a clip of that, but unfortunately the sound didn't pan out. So, I have with me tonight, I have a couple of my campers. These are a couple of girls from a cabin across the way, and the girls in the back are actually the girls that I'm a counselor for. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and give my speech to these girls. It'll be a short speech, and I thank you very much for your patience. Thank you. And I apologize for the shorts. Okay, so the basic speech that I'm giving to you guys tonight is something I gave to the counselors already. The speech is about something called gross national happiness, which sounds like a complete joke, and it actually started out as a joke. But the deal with gross national happiness, how many of you guys have taken like an economics course or something like that yet? Nothing yet? Next year? Okay, so these are high school girls, I should specify. With economics, one of the things you'll learn that a lot of countries judge their success by is something called gross domestic product. It's like what we take in, what we import, all the goods that we need from other countries. Likewise, there's also things about what we give to other countries. Now, this is just one way to measure like how a country's doing. Gross national happiness is something that came out of a very, very small kingdom called Bhutan. And the king of Bhutan, the old king of Bhutan, had this kind of just idea a while back about measuring the happiness of his kingdom. Bhutan is a Buddhist country, so there was this idea of whole well-being for the country. It was very, very important to this king. His son, though, took this completely seriously. He said, what if there's a way? What if we don't limit ourselves to thinking about what the rest of the country or the rest of the world thinks we should be? What if we talk about the things that really matter in the lives of our people? So there are a couple of things that determine this, and what they do is they take surveys. Some of those surveys cover things such as things that take away from our happiness. Just things that I think a lot of us have experienced, things like divorce, things like really bad traffic, things like corruption in government, war, mortality rates for children and loved ones. All of these things take away from our happiness. And these are all things that a government can keep track of. Ooh, I almost fell. One of the ways that they can actually measure things that do contribute to how happy we are, they can measure things such as, as opposed to divorce, there's marriage. How many children are born, how healthy they are, how well people are doing in school, how, is traffic a really good thing right now, are we being governed the way we want to be governed, is the level of democracy in a country decent, or do the people feel like they need more say? These are all things that can come through with the surveys, and it's something that the Kingdom of Bhutan really started to popularize after a while. And it's only been within the last 5 years that it started to take on any seriousness in the rest of the world. So what I really kind of want to get across to anyone watching there and these girls here is it's just the idea of, rather than just focusing on what we bring in good-wise, like what we talk about as far as food is good, food is great. But food's just one facet of how a country works. It doesn't measure mental health. It doesn't measure how we view each other. It doesn't measure the ideas that come through with lawsuits. It doesn't measure any of those things. So it doesn't talk about the full well-being, or as full as we can find out about the people. And that's something that I actually very much believe in. I feel like people need a much better perspective on how we run a country. And I think that gross national happiness is something that should really be taken more seriously. So thank you, all girls, and thank you to my listeners. And I hope to see you from someplace a lot less hot, a lot less sweaty, and a lot more civilized, so I don't wear this. But thank you all very much, and that'll be it for tonight. Thank you again very much for your patience. As promised, here's the clip from my previous recording, with which the sound did not work.
I would like to thank you all again. This is something that I've wanted to do for some time, and it means so much to my campers that I can do this here. So they thank you too. And I hope that the next time I can probably broadcast from somewhere where I dress a little better and the lights a little better. But thank you again.